All right, welcome back to the channel. We're going over the SP500 and the Nasdaq 100. Before we get into that, we need to look at the most beautiful picture in the world. It's what's happening right now. There's no recession going on, and it's looking like we're only going to go up from here. But in all seriousness, let's get to what's happening right now. Going into yesterday, I said something really specific about what was happening, and I continue to say it. Volume will give you your answers. Volume, volume, volume. It's the best indicator. It's the most important indicator. What do I mean by this? Now, when we talked about yesterday, and you can go watch yesterday's video, we talked about the higher lows you basically were making all day, even into basically continued in the after hours, and then you dropped on non-farm payrolls. Now, I'm going to say right now, I was wrong about non-farm being a factor. I will say that. But it did not change anything on the market. And I'm going to explain why here in a second. So I think initially I was right and I was wrong at the same time, which I'll explain here in a second. And I was wrong because you dropped, but I was right in the fact of how you moved going forward because it didn't matter. And again, we'll explain a little bit why. Now what's happening here? As far as buyers and sellers on the volume side of things, yesterday, what did I tell you? We came right to supply. And what do I mean by that? The 4-hour supply. We zoom out, we can see it clear as day right there, supply level coming in. And what happens every time we hit these levels? Is it a mystery? Is it a secret? No, we expect to get rejected when we hit our target. If I'm taking a trade and I have a target of $150 and we're at 120 currently, when I get to 150, why do I sell? Because I anticipate that we're going to get rejected or slow down at that point, right? It's just an anticipation of getting to that target. Now, I want to say something clear. Does it mean that I expect us to drop from that point? No. That just means I think we're going to go there, and that's what I think is going to happen right now. And so when I set supply and demand levels, that's just showing where we're going. Now, we have to break and mount those levels where we can go any further. Now, one step closer into what happened today. This was extremely, extremely easy. And if you don't believe me, again, I posted it on Twitter. I do all this on Twitter as well, so you always are updated, even if you're not in Discord. I never want there to ever seem like there's a paywall or anything like that. I post free content all day. Posted it on Discord, SPY update, told everyone you were bullish the whole time. Anyways, going back here, going into this, what happened? You came right down to your demand, your key level, 11.8. You zoom out here on the chart. Where is this level at, guys? Your previous highs, mounting, 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 easily bouncing right back up, okay? What happens from there? All day long, what continues? So as we zoom in here, higher lows all day. Guess what with volume as well? First half of the day, sellers continued to try to show up and push you down. What happened? You formed higher lows and you broke local highs again and again and again. What does this tell me? It says that bulls are in control, at least in the short term. So I want to make sure, let me get rid of flow algo. It's annoying the hell out of me. That's what we need to talk about today and where we're going moving forward. Before we get into that, I ask you to consider doing two things: liking and subscribing. Every single day I post content for you, so you are prepared and you are not taken by surprise with anything in this market. Again, every single day I'm posting videos for you at around 4 to 5 p.m. Central. Now, let's get into some of this news here. If we get into this, I do want to talk about some big news on the day. You have a Russian oil price cap. And I tweeted this a little bit earlier, and people had a few questions. They were like, why is this bad? Why is this good? What is going on here? Now, this could be very bad. Why? Again, if you have not watched my video, this one, I'm actually going to pin this to my page so y'all can see the Black Swan video. That video, and every weekend, I'm going to give long form videos and going over the market. A broad view of what's going to happen or what I think is going to happen and an update on the long term. Next 2 to 3 months, give or take, right? And I know that's not extremely long term, but for some people here, you're only interested in the next 5 minutes of trading. Hey, and hear me out. Hey, I love it. I live for the next 5 minutes as much as the next guy. So if you're looking here, I want to talk about what could be expected from this. Now, we talked about this in that Black Swan video. Russian oil. I'm going to make a video this weekend going more in depth with here. But if we price cap Russian oil, Russia already said what's going to happen. They will not sell to anyone that has a price cap. And if they do that, guess what? We all have to buy oil from one person, and the price and the demand will go up. And that will cause an issue, and the overall price of oil will soar. I'm just saying, U.S. crude theoretically should soar. Gonna say it right now. If that happens, again, this will heavily impact inflation. Again, my personal opinion, but we have no information on this yet. We haven't seen the price of a raise yet. This is just news right now. Again, Russia has not made a comment going into the weekend. I am totally liquid. Again, I take my day trades. I've been getting out. I am not interested in full porting into this market right now. Now, going back to the market, what are we looking at here? There's nothing really too much else to look for here. When we look at what's happening, we had that initial bad news or an initial drop down on the market from non-farm payrolls. We bounce immediately. Now, what does that mean? Non-farm. What does that mean? What happened here? Basically, this is a scale for unemployment, so you can see. We saw the unemployment rate stay sideways, 3.7, did nothing. Non-farm payroll came out and beat and was higher. What does that mean for the market? We want to see inflation drop, and I mentioned that. We want to see it happen. But what did the Fed say? What was the Fed telling us over and over and over? What did they tell us in this last meeting? Powell said, for right now, I'm not really worried about unemployment. I'm worried about getting CPI, PPI, the data down as much as possible. Eventually, jobs will slow down. Eventually, it's going to happen no matter what. It will happen, right? So right now, they're not worried about it. And he even said they need to slow down on raising rates. That's the path going forward. That's what they need to do. His words, not mine. Don't shoot the messenger. Is that a pivot? It is not a pivot. I'm going to tell you that right now. He did not say pivot. He did not say stop rates. He did not say cut rates. He said slow down. Okay, that's what you need to know. The market will take this as bullish, and it did. Since then, it has taken as bullish. Again, shoot the messenger, do what you got to do. But that's what we're looking at right now. So since then, continue to make higher lows all day long. Now, I want to say this. Going into Monday, you need to be careful with the market. And that's why I'm liquid right now, just in case, because I don't know what Russia's going to say or do. They could act crazy. And again, when you have dictators running a country, you got to expect crazy things to happen. Now, for myself, before I go any further, I'm going to go over some of the trades I took today. Today, I took a loser out of the gate. I took a Microsoft call. I did lose on that trade, just to let you know, about $200 right there. And then we took another trade, and this trade went crazy. We got it in at 2.5, 2.6 Microsoft calls. End of the day, that I was up about $700-800, 600 right here, where I cut half, and then they went berserk. They went all the way up to $3.94, ended up cutting at 3.7. Crazy gains. People went nuts. Great day trading. Again, had an initial loss, came back, flipped it back with the winner. Good day overall. The gains on gains on gains. Good day once again. Discord link's down below if you're interested. But again, if you don't want to subscribe to Discord, totally cool with that. What did I do? I mentioned yesterday, Microsoft, favorite stock right now. What did I trade today? Microsoft. I tell you guys every single day what I'm looking for. Again, and if you're interested, Twitter, it's a great place to get a lot of content. I recommend tapping in there. So when we're looking here, what's happening? I want to go over SPY specifically because it's actually been having some great movement. Now, SPY, you dropped down and you popped right back up. Now, everyone was freaking out about this drop this morning also. But can I just point something out for you? Did you really drop that far? Granted, you did drop from 407 at the close to around 402 at open. But just food for thought. Think about it. You only dropped about $1.50, $2 lower than that immediate drop you had when you hit highs yesterday, right? So people start to panic when you get an immediate drop, and they start to say this and that, and people start to come on the channel and like, Tyler, you were wrong, this and that. And again, my stuff is out there. Y'all see if I'm right or wrong. I post my losers all the time. I live for it. Y'all need to understand you're going to lose when it comes to trading. But it's about your winners outmatching your losers. That's why I post them. That's why I don't care about posting them, because I can prove it, right? So when we look here, what happens is you look at volume. You look at what's happening with the market. And that's why I want to pull up what's happening here on Bookmap. Bookmaps is one of my sponsors, just so you know, but it basically gives you a visual of level 2. If you don't follow level 2 enough, Bookmap gives you a live look and basically a heat map of what's happening here. And essentially all day long, your CVD just stayed green. I mean, all day. Even with the initial sell-off this morning, you were green. And you just come back. And then what happens here in the beginning of the day? This blue indicates the icebergs, the hidden order book, things that won't pop up on level 2. What happens there? Immediate buying, people. All throughout the morning, immediate buying. It slows down a little bit, but then guess what happens? You just keep on heating up. what happens here at the end of the day? Very interesting behavior here. You start heating up further on this dip. You start seeing some profit taking on the market and a lot of big buys coming in. This is why I love Bookmap. One of the best things out there right now. It's just something I've integrated with all my stuff. And I haven't had it in my videos lately. But again, I just love using it for this. And it gives you a very good visual of what's happening. And sometimes it's easy to look at the market, look at what's happening as far as a dip and seeing some of this and panicking, right? And it's not because I'm a permeable. If you remember 2 weeks ago, I was a big bear. Why did I flip, right? Why did I change my thesis? Because the fundamentals changed. What changed was the Fed, right? I keep telling you guys, I'm not going against the trend. Overall, long term, I think we probably can test lows. I just mentioned yesterday to y'all that JP Morgan said we're probably going to test local lows of the market, yearly lows, in the beginning or Q1 of 2023, right? And that's actually makes sense if you really think about what's happening with stagflation, the overall slowdown in the market. But short term, I'm a day trader. I day trade, I have long term, but I'm here to tell you and give you a news report on the market and give you an unbiased viewpoint, right? Right or wrong, no matter what. So that's what we're looking at. And again, I'm trying to teach you guys what I'm looking for also here. So again, when we look at this, clear higher lows, continuation all day. Even when things got a little bit sketchy here, let's go over what happened. Now, as we get in here, just showing you, let's look. So you get those higher lows forming, and you don't break the higher lows. I just want to highlight that. You don't break below, you don't make a lower low there. But what happens? You get some sideways consolidation right here, and then you just get back up, remount, and pop back up. Now, showing you a few of the indicators here also, let's bring in VWAP so y'all can see, just to show you the relative strength of what was really happening here. Because again, I feel like we don't necessarily follow. You sat on top of VWAP all day long. Not once did you lose it, people. This is the most bullish behavior that we've had in months. Let's say hypothetically 2-3 months, hypothetically, right? But continuation looks likely as of right now, okay? My personal opinion. Now, again, I'm going to tell you what I think needs to happen to start really getting bullish on the market. Now, before you can really start getting some of those big swings that we love to do here on the channel. Now, we're going to go to Nasdaq and we're going to look at ES, specifically the futures. Futures are what matters most because you can track them the best. Now, when we look at futures, I'm going to zoom out to around the 4-hour chart and just show you really quick. It's the same thing I said yesterday though, people, right? If you're above 11.8, you look good. But if you can get above 12.5, that's when you're bullish. That's when you're very strong. What do I mean by that? I want to highlight here the daily 200 MA. This is our target, people. Very clearly, I'm just going to highlight it right about here. Estimation about right at this point, because it can drop a little bit probably if you just stagnate, and it will drop as long as you are below it, just so you know. But that's my target for Nasdaq. If it gets above 12.15. So if you're in this range, am I looking to go long on swings? No. N-O. No. I will trade this range, yes, back and forth. I love tech here. I keep saying I've switched from my Dow thesis, and I got something to tell you about Dow, a big stock I've been telling y'all about, and y'all had a lot of haters about it, had a lot of questions, but again, they couldn't try to find something wrong here on the channel, and again, we found another big winner for y'all. And again here, you're looking for swings if you get above 12.15, because above 12.15, you about 400 points up to 12.5. That's your next big level. After that, around 12.8, 12.9. ES, that's where things get a little bit interesting as well, because there's no levels here, boys. You already have mounted. Look at this. I mean, let's really look at what's happening here. If we zoom in, you need to get above 4,100. That's what you need to hold. But look, this is your 200 MA. You broke. You came back. We retested it this morning, and we mounted it, boys. We have mounted the 200 MA. All things considered, right now, I'm incredibly bullish unless something really bad happens with oil in the G7 meeting. It would be very hard to get me bearish in the short term over the next week, week and a half. The next Fed meeting, I believe, is not this coming week, the next week. I believe it is the 14th, if I'm right. So that's going to be pretty big, and that's like the week before Christmas, I believe. I could be wrong. It's around that same time. So anyways, that's what we're looking at. And I believe we have a nice runway into that over the next week and a half, give or take. So look in here. This is something you love. Confirmation, though. Confirmation, because it looks like you're flagging. Again, call me crazy. I know y'all like to call me a little crazy here. It looks like you're flagging, people. It looks like you're trying to flag and get that push. You hold above 4100, and I have your next level. We can see your supply. We'll zoom out just a little bit. You can see right here, 4185 up to around 4215 roughly. That's our next level, almost 100 points on ES and SPY. And why is this level big? Let's talk about it before I let you get out of here. We're going to show you real quick. You have not been above your 200 moving average on the daily, since March 25th. That's when you mounted it last. When you got back below it, what's April 8th? Since then, you've held below and been rejected multiple times. Sorry, I'm still sick. I'm still kind of coughing. So you have to give me a few in between here, a few breaks. But look at these candles here on the daily. Beautiful. Look at the bounce on VWAP also. Again, I'm not hyping this up. I'm just showing you the charts. This is what I do here. I try to keep you guys up to date as much as possible. The top stocks in the next week, I'm going to run these down really quick, and then I'm going to get out of here. I honestly feel terrible. Have my son also. I'm kind of sick. It's a tough video to make right now. I'm not going to lie to you. I like Tesla. I want Tesla to get over 200. You're kind of flagging. It's a tough looking one. It's kind of ugly. I'm not going to lie. But you're trying to. You are trying. You're holding VWAP and you're flagging here on the end of the day on the 15-minute. I believe there's upside potential here. You want to see continuation on indexes, but Tesla just announced a semi-truck, the first delivery to Pepsi. I love what's going on here. They're heavily shorted. Over 200, I think momentum, you could see some squeezing happening here from shorts. I love Tesla, massive upside here. I would have to have stops below local lows around $91. But again, you want to see continuation on indexes before you do anything crazy. Now, I want to talk about Boeing, people. I want to talk about Boeing. Remember, we were talking about these. I kind of lost faith a little bit yesterday, but I've been telling y'all, and people were saying Boeing's not going anywhere. You're sitting in a sideways. I'm like, if you're consolidating at highs, you're bullish. Boom, big breakout. Congratulations if you had it. You're going towards 185, like I said. Welcome. It's happening. Airplanes. Who'd have thought? Going crazy. Next up, also Microsoft, favorite play of the day. You bounced right back. Major gap down, buying opportunity, shot back up. I believe Microsoft is going to make a run, and it's going to give you a run for its money, people. Target here, if you have continuation, nothing's changed, people. Not one thing, right? Not one thing has changed. Your goal is still around the 265 range, the 200 daily moving average. Target 1, 260, target 2, 265. This is going to be a cheap one. I very rarely give you cheap stocks. I don't like penny stocks. I don't like the mid, small caps. I hate them right now. Right. Why do I hate them? Because if you're day trading right now, you want a lot of liquidity. However, this has liquidity. Tilray. So what we're looking at right now, if you don't know, basically the Republicans won the House. Yeah, House or Senate. I don't know. Politics, whatever. Anyways, Republicans, giving the Democrats a big run for their money. They won the House. And this is causing issues. Why is it causing issues? Well, let's explain why. Now you're going to have a split decision going on now. Nothing's going to get done because you have to pass the House and it has to pass the Senate. Well, nothing's going to pass the House because it's all run by Republicans and they can't stand Biden. What's happening right now? In December, it's the last few months they can do anything before the Democrats have to leave the House. People lost their elections, right? What's going to happen here? They're trying to push their agenda. Weed stocks, EV. That's why I told you about Tesla a few weeks ago. Now, you're seeing Tilray, higher lows here on the daily. Bit of an ascending triangle, if you will. You're breaking out. What did I tell Discord? Again, what did I tell Discord, boys? Now, I said I didn't take it, but I told them this is your opportunity if you want it. A lot of people keep asking about weed stocks. Not playing them, but I'm going to show you the play I would take if I was going to. Tilray. The only one I ever touch if I touch them. January 20, $5 strikes, 60 cents right now, 49K open interest. That's the only one I go for. And already up over 20% at the end of the day. I think Tilray can keep running. And if this really starts to break above and can get above this range at locally around 510, 515, I think it can run quick up to 630. People think it won't run. I'm telling you, these weed stocks really do run. And that's your next big supply level on the 4-hour and daily. That's what I'd be looking at. Again, that's the video. More content coming. Watch out for Sunday's video. Have a good weekend. We got some good football coming up. The playoff races are coming. And most of all, we have a lot of fantasy drafts coming to a close, people. A lot of fantasies. And I'm telling you, my fantasy league's pretty tight. Hope you're just doing well. Let's see what happens. We got a good week of football coming. Have a good one.